championship season has its own personality, and this Phillies season is taking on a very different personality since the 1st of August. This afternoon, they'll go for the series sweep against the Milwaukee Brewers. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. We'll talk to Wheels in just a little bit. Well, since the 1st of August, this Phillies team has really turned it on, Sarge. In fact, they're playing so much better defense. They're running the bases exceptionally well, and they're getting outstanding pitching. And because of that, they're a game out of first place.
Well, absolutely right. You have to be able to win ball games without hitting that ball out of the ballpark there. Take a look there at the highlights in San Diego. You see exactly what I mean. As Jimmy Rollins getting ready to come on in there. Now check this slide out. Slide by, and as he touches that right with his hand, you can see how excited he is. Now defensively, how about Victorino? You want the center fielder to throw it right over the mound. He did just that, getting the runner coming in. And again, defense again. There's Chase Utley there at second base. This was really key there. I'm telling you, actually stopping that run. And then here we go again there with Polanco. Now this ball not that deep, but take a look at this. All hands in. Here comes Ruiz across the plate. Now the most important run, Valdez, as he comes sliding in, hustling all the way. And that's what I'm talking about, winning those ball games there. And you can see with 2 runs there or less, 13-5 there, Tom, and 10 come from behind wins.
Not only that, the Phillies are 24-14 this year in one-run games. And when you're in one-run games, you need your closer to be lights out. And that's exactly what Brad Lidge has been recently.
Well, he's been throwing that slider, getting it over the plate. Everybody knows that it's coming, but impossible to hit right now. He has that in good spots. Check this out here. There's a good spot there, getting a ground ball, hitter off balance. That's what you want Lidge to be able to do. He's not afraid to throw his fastball either. That's on the outside part of the plate. Bread and butter, however, has been that slider. Good defense there by Victorino, and that's what you want your saver to actually do. And take a look at it. Only one blown save that he has there. You like the strikeouts there, Tom. Again, he's been on top of his game.
He's only allowed 10 base runners over his last 15 appearances. That's pretty impressive, and that's one of the reasons why the Phillies are sitting atop the wild card. So they'll go for the series sweep this afternoon against the Brewers. Kyle Kendrick on the mound for the Phils. Randy Wolf to make the start against his former ball club. When we talked about defense last night alone, there were some outstanding plays that helped the Phils to the victory. We'll get to the lineups in the first pitch when we return. in the season series. And today is the final day of games for the Phillies during the regular season against a team outside the National League East. Tomorrow, the Florida Marlins are in town for a day-night doubleheader. And then from that point on, the Phillies will just face teams within their division. And speaking of within the division, on the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins lead the Braves 6-1 in the bottom of the fifth. Hanley Ramirez has an RBI single and a 2-run home run, his 20th of the season. And let's see if the Marlins can hang on. That game began at noon Eastern, so the Marlins could get up here for the day-night doubleheader. Let's take a look at the Brewers starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at second base, Ricky Weeks. Corey Hart, the right fielder, bats second. Ryan Bronson left, he'll hit third. Fritz Fielder, the first baseman, bats cleanup. Casey McGee's over at third, he'll hit fifth. Lorenzo Cain is in center field, batting sixth. Alcides Escobar, the shortstop, hits seventh. And George Kataris, the catcher, will bat eighth, and batting ninth and pitching is left-hander Randy Wolf, and they'll face righty Kyle Kendrick, who is making his 27th start of the year. And Wheels, he needs a good outing.
Yeah, he does, Tom. You see his numbers are not good, especially against left-handed hitters. He struggled his last few times out. He's been hit hard. But Kyle has the ability to go out and pitch a good game for the Phillies, and they certainly hope that that's one of the things that he needs confidence. He needs to get people out. He needs to stay out of the stretch as much as possible, not walk batters, and not pitch around the bat. Here's our scouting report on him. Must command that sinker ball, and they really could use some innings out of Kyle today because that bullpen's starting to be worked an awful lot. Against the Milwaukee Brewers, just 2 games, 1 start, and those are the numbers against Milwaukee. Now, they do not have a lot of left-handed hitters in their lineup the way some teams do. So, maybe that can help him a little bit.
Let's take a look at the keys to today's ballgame. Wheels, they're brought to you by Nissan.
Well, as Tom just mentioned, this is the last game the Phillies are going to play against the West or the Central this year. So, the last time they'll see them, then they're going to get into division play and get after them and keep playing aggressive baseball. Hey, they won the other night on a contact play, last night on some good base running. So stay after it that way.
It's the end of the model year, and Nissan's laying it all on the line. Nissan's bottom line sales event going on now. We're all set to begin. The Brewers wearing their alternate tops this afternoon, and the Phillies wearing their throwback uniforms, which they do during day games. Ricky Weeks so far 0 for 7 in the series and 2 for 20 against the Phillies.
One of those skies today like we had in California, in Los Angeles and San Diego. Not a cloud in the sky, the wind blowing out a little bit. Could be a little tough on pop-ups and fly balls.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to Weeks. You'll be able to hear the home plate umpire this afternoon. It's Jim Joyce. He's one of the loudest and more articulate umpires in Major League Baseball, and he's a good ball strike umpire.
He's also kind of famous or infamous this year.
Well, that's true too.
What happened with him, of course, with the no-hitter in the perfect game, and no, it was a no-hitter in
perfect game.
Perfect game, it would have been right in Detroit with Galarraga. He was the guy that was a first base umpire and missed the call, and then everybody handled that really well.
He's behind the plate. Marvin Hudson's at first, Darrell Cousins at second, and around at third, Mike Estabrook. The 1-2 misses a little low. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Weeks.
So that sky right there, and just how beautiful. Everybody knows how beautiful it is, but that can be a problem for balls in the air for the outfielders and infielders on a day like this.
Off the end of the bat, a flare to right. And Jason Worth picks it up right away. Does a little dancing, makes the catch, 1 away. Well, not a cloud in the sky.
Doesn't that look like California?
Sure does.
It's the kind of days we just had out there on that West Coast trip. Corey Hart coming up right now. He had a big night. First time up with Roy Halladay, went out to right center on a fastball, kind of went back over the plate, and then Roy tried to get him on a breaking ball there, and he hung it a little bit, and he hit a long one into left center field. 2 of the 4 home runs hit off Halladay last night.
Well, before those 2 home runs, Hart had been 0 for his last 13 and 1 for his last 24. And now with 25 homers, 84 RBIs. And a good fastball from Kyle on the outside corner. It's 1-1.
Well, he's done early in this game, and obviously it's very early. But he's come out, he's aggressive, and he's thrown strikes to the first 2 hitters. And as I mentioned, a lot of the big boys in their lineup are right-handed hitters, and that should help him.
Little number up the first base line. And it's still rolling.
Never know.
Well, once it hit the edge of the grass, Kyle saw that it was starting to spin back to fair territory, and he also noticed that Corey Hart was walking back to the plate.
Right. If the guy's running, you want to make sure you get over there and kick that thing foul and make sure it stays foul. But if he's headed back and it rolls fair, hey, you got a shot at it then.
Pretty good off-speed pitch. Looper to right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. That wasn't a bad pitch by Kendrick. It was just a little out over the plate in the path of Hart's swing. And that's the first hit of the day. During the 2010 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. And so far, $7,800 has been donated from the wins alone. Now with a runner on, Ryan Braun, who is 1 for 7 in the series, is the hitter. And he takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, Joyce reminds me, he used to have a great guy in the league. A lot of fans remember Dutch Renner. And Dutch was loud like that, too. Dutch used to go, strike one! And he'd point towards the dugout on the first base side all the time. The guys would turn around and look at him. They point right back at him from the other dugout. He goes, 2!
Yeah, he kind of stepped that
way.
He'd
step. And, you know, sometimes they forget. I remember Pete, Rose would go up there and he was so locked in, he'd forget it was Dutch. And the first time Dutch would yell like that, he'd jump and look back. His head would look back at him. Dutch was very entertaining and a great guy off the field, too. We got to know him real well.
Well, Kendrick's ahead of Braun, 0-2 with a runner at first. And that moves his feet a little bit.
There's another guy early on when I was a baseball fan who was a famous umpire in the Hall of Fame now named Al Barlick. And he was really loud. But there aren't many guys that do that. It just happens to be a particular style.
Corey Hart has stolen 6 bags this year. He's been caught 3 times. A lot of folks compare him to Jason Worth in abilities, athletic abilities, size, of course. Jason's probably a little quicker when it comes to base running, maybe a little better defensively in the outfield. Opposite way, Jason will be tested. That one heading down the line, and it's going to drop in for a fair ball. Jason picks it up. Hart's going to third, being held there. It's a double for Ryan Braun.
It's a shame for Kyle Kendrick. Everybody knows the struggles that he's had, and he gives up 2 bleeders here, second and third, and hopefully he can pitch out of it and not have a big inning. This is the one thing he doesn't need for his confidence, because he's made good pitches. Tom said the changeup to Hart was a good pitch, and that was a good sinker that he ran down, and Braun does a nice job putting the ball in play.
Well, now the meat of the Brewers order, Prince Fielder, who's had a 5-game hitting streak, 6 for 19 during the streak. He has 3 hits in the series, including a home run. And the Phillies will concede the run. Oh, boy. If that's fair, that is long gone. That is a fair ball. Second deck home run for Prince Fielder. First pitch swinging, and it's 3-0 Brewers.
Oof. Well, I talked about all the problems that he has with left-handed hitters. And that's the big guy in the lineup, the left-handed hitter that you worry about. Did he kill that? That was supposed to be way inside, and it didn't get there. How fast did that get into the upper deck? That's supposed to be a cutter. It looked like it was a backdoor cutter, and it's right in the middle of the plate. That didn't have time to go foul.
I was hoping it was going to hook foul, but then I saw Fielder running up the first base line, and if he didn't see it hook foul, then it wasn't going to go foul. Well, 3-0 Brewers out of the chute, and Casey McGee takes a sinker outside. So a blue pit by Hart, a flare by Braun, and then a 3-run home run by Prince Fielder. That would have been a home run in any ballpark. And it's 3-0 Milwaukee.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, they can't get their heads down out there. It's the first inning, a long way to go. Off a pitcher, you can hit a little bit and come back and win this game.
Chopper toward third. Nice play by Polanco on the glove side. 2 outs. .30 home runs now for Fielder. 73 RBIs.
Well, you won't see many go further than that, faster than that.
No, there was we watch Ryan Howard on a daily basis, and there are a lot of no doubt about it home runs off the bat of Ryan. Well, there was no doubt about that, unless it was going to hook foul, I should say.
And Ryan rarely pulls a ball like that, like Fielder just did. Ryan's go to the gaps.
Well, here's Lorenzo Cain, who started the first game of the series, was 0 for 3 that night. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to the Georgia native. No swing, says the first base umpire, Marvin Hudson. Cain this year combined to hit .317 between AA and AAA before his promotion to the big leagues. Alcides Escobar on deck. Pop-up foul. Ryan Howard gives it a look, and it's out of play. It's kind of the way the first 2 hits went for the Brewers.
Yeah. The first 2 hits were, you give the hitters credit. They put the balls in play, and they got hits out of it. But Fielder, oh, my.
Three and 2, the count to Cain. Over to second base. Chase waits on it, and the side is retired. But the damage is done here in the top of the first. Prince Fielder, his 30th home run of the season, and he makes this a 3-0 lead right out of the chute as we go to the bottom of the first. As the Phillies trail at 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the first. Here's the lineup for Charlie's team, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Chase Utley, the second baseman, bats second. Placido Polanco hits third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. Jason Worth is in right field, batting fifth. Shane Victorino hits sixth. And then the bottom third of Ben Francisco, Carlos Ruiz, and Kyle Kendrick. And they'll face former Phil, Randy Wolf.
They're the numbers on Randy Wolf. As I mentioned, a guy can hit. And left-handed hitters only .315 against him, or hitting .315 against him. More hits than innings pitched. Lifetime against the Phillies, pretty good in this ballpark. Overall, a little high at .579. And Wolf, he has all the pitches, curve, cutter, circle, change. That's his fastball. And his velocity in fastball is up after he had that elbow operation.
A 500 record this year, 182 hits and 172 innings of work. And he's facing a handful of his former teammates, including Jimmy Rollins, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Jimmy.
And he will throw the long ball, so he's a type of guy, if you can be patient against him, somebody pop one, he can have a new ball game real fast.
Wolf has surrendered 26 homers this season. You see where Randy Wolf sits as far as home runs allowed. Ted Lilly gave up 1 yesterday to Buster Posey, and that really set the Giants off. And Jimmy's down on strikes as he goes after the cutter. And there's 1 away.
That game was amazing last night, that Giants-Dodgers game. I watched that when we got home. And here's that cutter, as Tom said. Jimmy chases it inside. It wasn't going to be a strike. And the Dodgers looked like they had that game won. And then home run derby broke out for the Giants. And Broxton is still having problems. Uribe hit one a mile off him to win the game in the 9th inning, and that thing was crushed.
Well, with 1 out, Chase Utley settles in. Chase is 1 for 6 in the series. And you saw his numbers against Randy Wolf. Chase and Ryan Howard are combined 3 for 23 against Randy Wolf. In fact, if you throw Jason Worth in there, they're a combined 4 for 35. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is John Weissenbach of Philadelphia. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then John will win $100. Off the end of the bat, a foul ball, and it's 2-1. Randy Wolf spent 8 years with the Phillies, won 69 games, including 16 back in 2003 at the age of 26. He's now 34 years old. See his career numbers with the Phillies: 194 games, 190 starts.
Started the first game in this ballpark.
Line drive towards center, and that'll drop in front of Kane. Up the end of the bat, and the Phillies have a 1-out single from Chase.
That game was against the Cincinnati Reds, won an 0-4, and Randy Wolf, the pitcher that afternoon. The Phillies lost the first game of this park.
That was off of his 16-win season the year before, in the final year of the vet.
Yeah, he spent his whole year his whole career in the National League.
Here's Placido Polanco. Now he has good numbers against Randy. 4 for 8. And Placido enters today's game 6th in the league in hitting at .306. But just 1 for 7 in the series. That's the thing about the Phillies winning the first 2 games of the series. Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, and Placido Polanco are combined 2 for 20. Or I should say 3 for 21 now.
Randy Wolf, at this point in his career, you have to look for that cutter if you're a right-handed batter. And you saw he got Jimmy Rollins out on one. Polanco couldn't keep that one fair, and you have to hope he leaves a cutter out over the plate. He'll also throw a really slow curveball every once in a while, and he'll even back it up. He'll throw it a couple times in a row. He hasn't thrown it yet. He didn't used to pitch inside when he first came up. He used to throw a kind of a soft fastball away. Little change up and curveball. And the last few years he's gone more to that cutter, and that definitely helps him against right-handed hitters. Kind of like what has happened with Hamels.
And Cole has the advantage where he throws a little harder than Randy does.
Right. But a cutter from a left-handed pitcher is such a weapon to the right-handed batter. There's Cole. You see how it's really changed his approach around it at Cole Hamels.
A little high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And they can backdoor it a little bit. You know, that was more a breaking ball, it looked like. But you can backdoor that cutter because you get him off the plate a little.
Another foul ball over the first base dugout. Wheels, I'm going to ask Sarge this question later, and I think I might get a different response. If you're a hitter facing a former teammate who's a pitcher, do you have the advantage, or does the pitcher have the advantage?
Well, that is a great question. I think it varies. I don't think there's any set answer to that. I think it depends a lot on the players and the way they study the game, in my opinion.
Line drive, single to center field. Back-to-back hits for the Phillies. They have runners on first and second.
You know, if you're a player that just goes out there and plays and didn't pay any attention to your teammate when he was here, it doesn't matter. But if you were a guy who sat and studied the game and saw the way he worked hitters, you'll think, well, he may work me that way. So I think a lot of it has to do with how you pay attention to the game.
On both ends.
Both ends, absolutely. Now, there's always been this theory that a catcher who caught a guy can hit him.
Like Todd Pratt without Leiter.
Right. And Jerry Grody with Tucker Grom. There's Ryan Howard with a home run early off Dave Bush, and I think Prince Newton was out. Jerry Grody used to just kill Tucker Grom after he caught him all those years with the Mets.
Well, the Phillies have something cooking here with runners on first and second and one man down. Ryan Howard takes a fastball upstairs. Ryan is a 5-game hitting streak. He has 2 home runs here in September already. We bring that up because he has traditionally been such a good September hitter, not only in average, but more so in the power categories. In fact, if you look at his September numbers for his career, it's like a season. 159 games, I think it is. And if you look at his overall numbers in September, it's like a typical Ryan Howard season with maybe a higher batting average. And a breaking ball over for strike 2. It's 1-2. That was the slider from Wolf. He has a slower breaking ball that's a curve.
Yeah, hasn't thrown that yet.
There it is. He rolls over on it. There's one, and Escobar quickly over to first for 2. A 4-6-3 double play, and that wraps the inning here in the bottom of the first. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left for the Phillies. We go to the second. It's 3-0 Milwaukee. Split doubleheader, a day-night doubleheader to celebrate Labor Day. The first game is at 1:05. That lists as game number 29 on your ticket stub. And game 2 is number 70 on your ticket stub. That's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. There are seats still available for both ends of that day-night doubleheader by going to Phillies.com or by calling 215-463-1000. We begin the second, and Alcides Escobar leads it off for the Brewers. 1 for 6 in the series. That one was a home run last night against Roy Halladay. Hit the ball hard in his second at bat last night. Raul Ibanez made a fine play out in left field. Chopper toward first. That's a fair ball. Knocked down by Ryan Howard. And then he takes it to the bag to finish off the play. 1 out here in the second.
Kendrick needs more than anything right now is a clean inning. Just get some people out, keep the game right where it is. There's that high hopper, and it goes in and out of the glove of Ryan Howard. And then Kendrick was there. He just felt he could beat him to the bag, and he did. You better believe that hitter is going to peel off to the right when he sees that and lose a step.
Otherwise, he might lose his lunch.
Well, yeah, he didn't want to run into him. You're going to lose that battle.
Here's George Gutierrez, the catcher. 202 hitter, 9 homers and 25 RBIs. And he takes a fastball inside. It's 1-0. Jonathan Lucroy caught the first 2 games of this series. Gutierrez made the final out in last night's game against Brad Lidge.
Now Lucroy was involved in that strange play at the plate where he just misread the ball coming. He didn't go get it. Bounced away, and then Valdez made a tremendous play scoring. It turned out to be the winning run.
Ken Maka said after the ball game last night, the manager of the Brewers, that a catcher is taught to go out and get the ball if he's not going to have a play at the plate, because you don't want anything else to happen like what happened last night.
Yeah, and he obviously thought he had a play at the plate because he didn't go after it. And he was on the front part of home plate, and the ball was on the other side. And he had no chance to get to it.
2-2 the count. Ooh. There's Ken Maka in his second year as the manager of the Brewers. Had a lot of success in Oakland as their manager. Doesn't have the same kind of personnel here in Milwaukee. And 2 outs.
Here's that play last night. Here's Braun's throw. Now watch where it is. He comes to the outside part of the plate there, and instead of going to get the ball's on the other side of the base runner. And a nice backup there by Braddock, the South Jersey kid, but he can't get it to the catcher Lucroy in time. And Valdez, great base running there, and a good job of coaching at third base by Sam Perlaza.
Yeah, Charlie said last night, he said that was all Wilson with his decision making. And it was aggressive in a lot of ways. Here's Randy Wolf. No slouch as a hitter. It's 0-2.
He also said, I told Wilson when I sent him up there to bunt, this is a sacrifice situation. You are not up there to bunt for a base hit. And he said he did a tremendous job of getting the walk when the guy didn't throw him a strike.
Randy loops into foul territory down the left field line, and Francisco gives it a look. Randy Wolf is 14 for 59 this year as a hitter. That's good for a .237 average. It is the 6th highest average among pitchers, with a minimum of 50 ABs in the National League.
190 hit 2 home runs in a game here in this ballpark when he was with the Phillies. I think it was off the Rockies.
He has 5 home runs overall in his career.
Hit at least 3 with the Phillies, because he hit one at Milwaukee one afternoon off a left-handed pitcher.
He hit 3 in 2004 with the Phillies. And a foul tip into the glove of Ruiz in the side. He's retired. 5 in a row retired by Kendrick since the homer. We go to the bottom of the second with the Phils trailing it. retire the opposing team in order. And Kyle Kendrick did just that in the top of the second. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. The Phillies have to play from behind, with the Brewers getting the 3-run home run by Prince Fielder in the first. You know, that's the 13th home run that Phillies pitchers have surrendered against the Brewers this year. But it's only the second home run that wasn't a solo shot.
Right, and they're both 3-run home runs. Corey Hart had the other one.
That's the good news in this season series for the Phillies, is that they've given up some long balls, but just about all of them have been solo home runs.
Yeah, the Brewers are going to hit a lot of home runs. That's the part of their game. And yeah, they hit 4 home runs last night, but only accounted for 4 runs.
4 against Roy Halladay for the first time in his career. Jason's trying to slow Randy Wolf up here. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Jason is 2 for 7 in the series against the Brewers, and hit a home run in last night's game. They keep calling time and looking out somewhere. Everybody's turning around and see who they're pointing to.
They get a lot of me. Talking to me.
Problem is that the center fielder Lorenzo Cain turned around. So did Corey Hart, the right fielder. There's nobody else to point to.
They start like a wave in the stands.
2-2 the count to Jason.
Where were they pointing?
I don't know. I know the first time Jason stepped out was because he wanted to slow Randy Wolf up because he was working very quickly. Not sure what the second occasion was. Toward the gap in left center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Now Braun glanced at Cain, hesitated a little bit, and that's going to give Jason a chance to slide in safely at second. 44th double of the year for Jason, his league leading 44th.
And nobody went to cut that ball off right away. It's hit softly off the end of the bat. Jason looked like he hit a changeup, and he hooks it towards the gap. But look at the routes they run here. They both run deep routes, and now Braun finally catches it and gets it back in. But Jason Ware saw that the outfielders were really deep and running those kind of routes, and he could get the extra base out of it.
Be safe and secure at second. Safe and secure with New York Life. Let's see if the Phillies can get a run home. They had a runner in scoring position in the first and couldn't score with 1 man down. And here's Victorino with nobody out and a runner at second.
Brian Howard hit in that double play on the only curveball that Randy Wolf has thrown so far.
Shane has hit it 4 straight. His numbers are light years better from the right side than the left as far as his average goes. .331 hitter from the right side of the plate. Now a quick convo as Victorino is behind, no balls and 2 strikes.
You don't know whether or not they're having trouble with the signs, since they're different with a runner at second, or on what they want to throw. That was a quick conversation, and no subterfuge there. Didn't put the glove in front of the face. You know, it was just real quick, like first sign after 2, or whatever they're using.
And Randy was turned towards second too. Fly ball to right. Jason's tagging at second. He'll draw the throw from Hart. And with 1 man down, Jason remains in scoring position. And now they put the glove over the mouth as Randy has a few words for Gutierrez as he's out at the hill. Ben Francisco's the batter. Francisco hitting .271 since the All-Star break. He's got more playing time, particularly against left-handers. And he's playing today for Raul Ibanez against the lefty Randy Wolf. And he fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1.
Francisco's the kind of guy, if he misses one of those cutters and he opens up, he can get to 2 runs real fast. But he's a dead pull hitter and he likes to hit fastballs.
And he gets a curve. There's that slow curve.
.66 miles per hour, and you know, Randy Wolf has used that very effectively throughout his career. I mentioned he will go back to back with it occasionally. Like that. That one was a little faster. That was 67. Threw his timing off.
Wasn't as high either. Didn't start as high.
And if you think as a hitter you're finished with it,
particularly a guy who likes the fastball like Ben Francisco, he may get it again.
Right, and now is a good time to throw a fastball, of course, or something harder, because you got that thing in the guy's mind, that real slow pitch. 3 in a row. Once in a while he will fall in love with it with certain hitters, and they get it.
One more time, Randy. One more time.
And that guy down there is right on it. Tell him to throw it one more time. He jams him then with a fastball in. Sooner or later, you know, you have to be late on a fastball after you see those things.
Line drive, base hit it to left field. Jason headed back to second, so he's going to have to hold up at third. He wasn't sure if that was going to be caught by Escobar. So the Phillies have runners on first and third with 1 out. One of the hottest shows on TV is coming to MyPHL 17. Catch Jeremy Piven in the acclaimed comedy series Entourage, where the day-to-day life of a Hollywood actor is anything but ordinary. Entourage premieres September 13th right here on MyPHL 17.
Well, he timed that hook that time. Saw 4 curveballs in that at bat, and the 4th one he hit it hard.
Well, let's see if Carlos Ruiz can come through again. 6 career at bats against Randy, 4 for 6 with a home run and 3 ribbies. And he takes a fastball in the outside corner, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, they need to get something out of this now. First and second in the first inning, 1 out, nothing. And now first and third here in the second inning with 1 out.
Line drive down the left field line. Fair! It's a fair ball as it kicks it to the corner. Francisco's right behind Jason Worth. He's going to score. It's a 2-run double for Carlos.
Great job by guys knocking a lot of big runs. Okay, he tried to cut it inside on him and missed, and he kept it fair.
Carlos kind of stopped as he left the box.
Oh,
man.
Well, that cutter's hard to keep fair. That's the whole thing about it, and Sam's got it coming all the way.
I was mentioning Carlos kind of stopped as he left the box because, as we said, he has the best view, and he's thinking, it's going to hook foul. And then he picked it up even before Mike Esterbrook called it fair.
It's good base running by Ben Francisco. It's not easy to score in this park a lot of times on balls to left field, even when they're in left center. And there you see, as Tom said, Carlos Ruiz thought it was foul. And then all of a sudden he had 2 RBIs. But really good base running by Ben Francisco.
Outside, 2-1 to Kendrick.
An aggressive coaching there by Sam Perlaza. Braun doesn't throw that well in left field, and he had to chase that towards left center a little bit.
Well, the outfielders, here's Francisco catching his breath. The outfielders are shaded way over in center and right. Kyle has a huge gap in left center field if he can get around on a pitch from Randy Wolf. Nope. Hits it to right, and they had him played perfectly. Hart battling the sun, makes the catch, and the side is retired. But the Phillies get 2 back on the 2-run double. Oh, excuse me, that's second out, my bad.
Yeah, they were running off the field.
I was watching them run off the field, and I bit right in with them.
Yeah, they deked us.
So 2 away.
There's the first look to it, what the sun might do today. You saw him really battling it out there, Corey Hart. Right here, it's in the sun. He's going to try and take it off to the side a little bit there, and then makes the play. And he thought it was a third out, and then his teammates are going, well, he must know.
Good play by Kataris. I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt, too.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to know the outs, too, out there. You know, it happens.
Want to know the count to Jimmy, who struck out his first time up. Jimmy's 0 for 8 in the series.
You're playing him towards right center. Got a big gap in left center with all these cutters Randy Wolf's throwing. Now you got a chance to alley one out there.
Down the left field line, that'll hook foul.
It's hard to keep that ball fair. That was a curveball. A lot of times it's hard to keep those things fair if he gets them far enough inside.
Jimmy's had some opportunities with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. 3 for his last 15. Boy, he was off to such a torrid pace in so many categories. .24 pitches this inning for Randy Wolf. J-Roll was hitless in the last 2 games of that homestand against the Astros, and he's been hitless in the first 2+ here. Hits one the opposite way. Weeks to his left. Gathers it. And the Phils settle for 2. So a 2-run double by Carlos Ruiz brings the Phillies within 1 with a clutch inning for the Phils' number 8 hitter once again. And he makes it a 3-2 ball game. Question that you have no shot at. Who was the first Brewer pitcher in '98 to get a hit after Milwaukee switched from the American League to the National League with no designated hitter?
No chance. You said that before you even read it. You're right. No chance.
The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. I will tell you this. I'll give you a hint right now to plant the seed.
Okay.
We have seen this gentleman this year.
Wow.
Yep. In all honesty, that is not going to help you at all. But at least I gave you a hint.
Yeah. Well, it's for the fans, and certainly hope the fans get it right, because I'm not.
Ricky Weeks leads it off here in the 3rd against Kendrick. Weeks flied to right his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. I wonder if Kyle can take a page out of Cole's book and Roy Halladay's book for the first 2 nights of this series. He doesn't have the same kind of secondary pitches that Roy or Cole have, but they use those secondary pitches effectively in the first 2 games of the series, particularly Cole. You know, Cole used the changeup and the cutter and even the curve a little bit early on in Friday night's ball game. Roy Halladay went to it a lot after the first couple innings yesterday.
Well, his team's got back in it. They normally do score runs when Kyle pitches. So, you know, his job is try and keep it right where it is. Carlos Ruiz got 2 back for him.
See the run support for Kyle. It's amazing that Kyle and Joe Blanton have the highest run support of the team. Look at Kevin Correa getting 5.6 runs per game for a Padres team that doesn't score a lot of runs. That ball just glided right up the middle. And Ricky Weeks is aboard with a leadoff single. That's his first hit of the series. Well, that'll bring Corey Hart to the plate. Hart singled and scored his first time up. He scored when Prince Fielder hit the 3-run home run. Hits that hard right past Polanco down the left field line. Francisco gets to it quickly and then plays it off the wall. Weeks is being waved home. J-Roll's throw to the plate on one hop, not in time, backed up like Kendrick. And it's 4-2 Milwaukee.
Well, Ricky Weeks can run. He is a good athlete and got off quickly on that when that ball hit down the line. Bounced away from Francisco a little bit, so easy for him to score there. Corey Hart with his 28th double of the year. Bat racks are rattling here this afternoon. Watch it kick. And Ben played a good angle on it. But you just had a good runner there in Weeks and able to score. And Carlos Ruiz standing there on the plate to block it. And that's why you come in feet first. If you can.
So a runner at second with nobody out, a run across the plate. Strike at ease, and it's 0-1. Braun doubled his first time up. Just a little flare down the right field line. Charlie was hoping not to use the bullpen early today. He may not have to. But Kyle needs to get some outs here in the 3rd. In the air to left field. And Francisco, a few steps from the track, makes the catch. Corey Hart went back to second to tag, but just to draw the throw. So 1 away. And whatever pitch you threw Prince Fielder the last time, don't throw it again.
Atlanta's coming back in that game big time after a rain delay. 6-3 with the bases loaded, nobody out.
As the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Logan Morrison has 3 hits, a double, a triple, and RBI for the Marlins. Hanley Ramirez has 3 runs batted in. But it's 6-3 Florida. And they're going to walk Prince Fielder intentionally.
You know, it's funny. We had a great shot of Fielder laughing in the on-deck circle, looking over at the Phillies bench and kind of pointing back. And that's probably what they were saying to him. Somebody put up 4 fingers. Maybe Charlie, he likes to do stuff like that. Just put up 4 fingers, like, you ain't hitting. Unless this guy clears him right now or something, you're not going to hit. That was when Braun was up.
Guess he figures the double play is in order with Casey McGee, who's bounced into a double play in this series.
Right, and he also doesn't want this guy to swing the bat, period.
Yeah. Because he looked pretty comfortable in his last swing.
Well, you're trying to keep this game under control. As you said, Tom, you have to use the bullpen a lot early. You know, think you can score some runs yourself today. So you don't want Fielder to hurt you there.
So 2 on, 1 out. Casey McGee is the hitter. He grounded to third his first time up. Phillies will take that same ground ball in this at bat. This has been the situation, it seems, for McGee all year because Fielder's walked so many times. He's been up with runners in scoring position, and he's put together a good year with 86 RBIs. Because he's basically been the protection for a Fielder since the start of the season.
Yeah, this guy can hit some doubles and some home runs, and can also hit into double plays. And that's what they're hoping right now, that Kendrick can throw a sinker and get a double play ball.
One and one the count.
See, that's what he's trying to do. Throw a couple sinkers and hope he'll just beat one into the ground at somebody.
15 double play groundouts, including 1 in this series for Casey McGee. Strike 3. Late call by Jim Joyce, but Kyle will take it. That's his second strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, he kept working away on the outside part of the plate, and it looked like sinker after sinker. And that was a delayed call here. That was a cutter. And it did catch the outside corner.
So 2 gone, and here's Lorenzo Cain, who grounded to second his first time up. Phillies trail at 4-2. The Brewers have scored a run in the inning. And again, Kyle goes right back to that well. And he misses, and it's 1-0. Over to the left side. Big hop for Polanco. Goes to second to retire the side. Nice piece of pitching by Kendrick to get out of any more trouble here in the third. No runs, or excuse me, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third. Chase Utley is due to lead it off. Sports Sedan. Suzuki, the power of engineering. By Bud Light, the sure side of a good time. Here we go. By Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Toyota. It's the Now's the Time sales event at your Toyota dealer. Hurry, offer ends soon. Last and third in front of a sold-out crowd. The Phillies trail at 4-2. Chase Utley, Placido Polanco, and Ryan Howard due up for the Phils against left-hander Randy Wolf. Phillies have picked up 5 hits already against Wolf in 2 innings. Chase singled up the middle his first time up. That's his 7th hit in his last 17 at bats. It's amazing you don't see more lefties throw that kind of curve. I know a lot of them can't control it. And what I mean by controlling it is keeping it out of the strike zone at the end.
Yeah, it is a tough pitch, and umpires sometimes have a tough time with it too because there's so much break involved.
We've seen righties throw it, from Livan Hernandez to Padilla, Orlando Hernandez. But Wolf's really the only lefty that throws it that way.
Sandy Koufax had a pretty good one. Yeah. But you're right, you don't see a lot of curve. Steve Carlton had a good curveball that he would use. You think of him as a slider, of course, but he had a real good curveball.
Chase hits it right over the second base bag. It missed Wolf's glove, it missed the bag, and then it missed Escobar's glove. And he's 2 for 2. Follow the Phillies on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com @Bat 2010. Featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Phillies.com today on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry for more details. And if you had that MLB @Bat 2010, you would know that the Braves have tied up the Marlins.
All the way back from 6-0. Whoever came in, we think they had a rain delay down there, and whoever came in after the rain delay didn't do so well.
Well, Cameron Maybin may have saved the game, though, for the Marlins. He went over the fence to catch a Nate McLouth apparent grand slam.
Oh.
Now, 2 runs scored on it. It turned out to be a sacrifice fly, so he must have literally went over the fence.
And then maybe fell, maybe landed.
Yeah.
So that's really good base running by whoever's at second to tag up and come all the way around.
Well, here's Polanco with a runner at first. And a toss over by Wolf. Polanco singled his first time up. And it's 2-0. San Perlazo laying down some signs. Popped up, foul territory. Hertz field of the first baseman is over, and 1 away. So 1 out here in the bottom of the third, and it's time for today's Thirst Inning. It's brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of the Thirst Inning. Doesn't matter where you are, the Bud Light rooftop, in the general seating area, the Hall of Fame Club. You can get your Budweiser or Bud Light and cool off on a beautiful afternoon, Labor Day weekend. Final real holiday of the summer and the unofficial end of summer. Ryan Howard hit into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. And he hits that one in the air off the third base line. McGee, the third baseman, is over, and he makes the catch. And there are 2 away.
Unlucky Ryan.
Kind of pulled off a slider there and hit it right off the end of the bat. He's gotten him out on a big old slow curveball and a double play. This is a tough play for McGee because it's not like he started out at third base. He started out playing shortstop and way over near the bag. Had a long run for that, but it was in the air a long time. He's able to run it down. The 2 foul pop-ups here after the base hit.
And that'll leave things for Jason Worth, who doubled and scored his first time up. And a swing and a miss at a slow curve, and it's 0-1. Backed up that curve again. One off the inside part of the plate, the other one to the outside part of the plate. Jim Joyce called it strike 2. Jason's numbers have been a lot better average-wise at home. 326 here at Citizens Bank Park with 14 of his 20 home runs. He fouls off the 0-2 again, and it remains no balls and 2 strikes. Quick pitch, and it's swung on and missed, and Wolf retires the side, gets Worth on strikes. That's his second strikeout. So the Phillies waste the leadoff single by Chase Utley. They strand 1. We go to the 4th. The Phillies down by 2. 15. Enjoy Green Mountain K-Cup coffee, brewed fresh every cup and delivered by W.B. Mason. For a great cup of coffee, who but W.B. Mason? Oh, we head to the top of the 4th. It's a 4-2 game. Randy Wolf just picked up career strikeout number 1,500. And he got Jason Worth swinging to finish off the home 3rd. Gary Matthews joins us here in the booth as Alcides Escobar leads it off for the Brewers. Bottom 3rd of the order for Kyle Kendrick. And he delivers a strike. And Kyle's really been peppering the outside part of the plate today, Sarge.
Been doing a good job there so far. The first pitch fastball, however, to fielder that hit the ball out of the ballpark.
right back to the box. And one away. I agree with you about the first pitch fastball and the first pitch strike. It's been effective. He's gotten the count to 1-2 a handful of times and just hasn't been able to put the hitter away. Yeah, fastball hitters, however, they're looking first pitch fastballs. You don't want to throw them a strike in that nitro zone, and you know how hard fielder actually swings, and that's just a no-no for him. Well, and then beyond that, you know, he was able to settle in the second, give up a run in the third, but it could have been a lot worse in the third. Well, he did have a little control damage there, but just needs to get those ground balls if he can. More so than striking guys out, get in the groove of being able to throw that sinker, and that's his bread and butter. Well, he just got the ground out back to the box, and here's Kataris, who grounded out to Ryan Howard his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Very manageable game there, only 4-2 as you see the score. Good day to hit. Yeah, that's where he needs to kind of live on those left-handed guys. They want to hit it to left field for the single. Yeah, good. You just don't want them to pull the ball, and the wind is blowing a little bit out to right field. There's the flags and the wind that Sarge is talking about. It's basically been the way it's been gusting this whole series. To right center field. Victorino on the run. He's not going to get that one. And it's off the base of the wall. Plays it well, and Kataris will be at second with a stand-up double. 11th double of the year for the Brewers catcher. Well, there's a little indication of that wind. You get it up in that wind. Victorino playing that ball pretty good, knowing that he shouldn't get close to the wall. It's going to be off the wall. See how he slows down a little bit, plays the carom. He's up close and it gets away. Look at the location on that. That's not where he wants to throw the ball. Extension for the batter there. Now the umpires are meeting right now to the right of the mound in front of second base. I don't know if they were discussing whether there was a interference or if they just didn't see where that ball landed. I don't think there was any question from our vantage point that the ball hit the base of the wall, and I guess they were just conferring to make sure. That's the only thing I can think of. Well, nobody asked them to go out there and actually do that. That's taking that upon yourself. There was no argument at all, and it is clear that the ball hit down on the bottom of the fence. I don't know what they could be checking. Over to left side, Wolf grounds it to J-Roll. That'll keep the runner at second. And 2 outs. Well, the only thing I can think of, Sarge, is that ball, because it hit the fence in front of the Turkey Hill sign, it went to the left instead of coming straight back toward Victorino. So maybe they thought it hit something. Maybe they just couldn't see it that clearly. Well, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They got it right, however. And we're just assuming that that's what they were discussing, because nothing else happened that was obscure on that play. There was no obstruction, no interference by the fielders or the base runner. Oh, 2 outs. Here's Ricky Weeks. And the first pitch is over for strike. It's 0-1. Sarge, Ricky Weeks and Prince Fielder are only the 6th duo teammates to be hit 20 times or more in a season in Major League history. Wow. The last time it happened was back in 1911. I didn't think it was that rare that 2 teammates were hit by a pitch that often. But it caused some issues earlier this season with the Brewers, to the point where, you know, Ken Maka, the manager, said that Major League Baseball needs to step in because his guys are getting hit too much. Now, Fielder you can understand because he stands so close to the plate. I guess Weeks dives a little bit.
Well, he must dive some, but other than that, though, I mean, that's a lot for two of your players to be hit. That's a lot for one of your players to be hit 20 times.
Yeah, Weeks has been hit 23 times. Fielder's been hit 20 times.
Well, Weeks is pretty close to the plate, you know, himself. And then that would tell you that guys are trying to get inside and just can't hit that inside part of the plate, and then they've been hitting the batter.
Over the first base dugout, it remains 1-2. So Weeks is 23, Fielder's 21. There you see the leaders. Utley has 10. Now he's missed 43 games. Usually he's among the leaders. But, you know, finally, Ken Maka said something to Major League Baseball and said something to Frank Robinson, said something to the umpires from time to time. Said, hey, listen, something's got to be done here. Weeks got hit in the head one time. Line drive, base hit it to left field. Francisco played back on it, rounding third, heading for him is Gutierrez. The ball's cut off and then bobbled by Polanco, and that enables Weeks to go to second. It's 5-2 Milwaukee. Well, once Francisco backed up on that ball, there was no chance to get Gutierrez scoring from second.
Yeah, I thought the only chance they would have had was to be able to cut that ball and throw and get Weeks going in the second. You may have gotten him before that run crossed the plate. As you take a look here at that replay, now there's where you're talking about Ben actually backing up on the ball. He was just making sure if he caught it, you can see Weeks now. He's going to go to try and draw the throw. Polanco now, you see how he stopped there a little bit? That throw is clean there. You get Weeks at second base, although it looked like he would have gotten into a rundown if that happened.
And that's the right play, is to try to draw the throw.
Oh, yeah. You'll take that run for the out any day, especially when you're winning.
Now, Phillies have bullpen action. Antonio Bastardo is the lefty. David Herndon is the righty. Phillies also have Scott Matheson available. He was called up from AAA and is in uniform for today's game. Vance Worley and Nate Robertson have been summoned from the minors. Neither is activated. One of those guys will be activated to start one of the day-night doubleheaders tomorrow against the Marlins. And the assumption is the other will be in the bullpen. 1-2 the count to Corey Hart. Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Hey, this Corey Hart's made himself into a pretty good hitter in and out of the lineup. When you start hitting the way he has, you have no choice but to keep him in there. He's got good numbers.
It's that one the opposite way. That'll be a tough play. Worth is on the run over toward the line. He's there and he makes the catch in fair territory. And the side is retired, but the Brewers tack on another run on the RBI single by Ricky Weeks. They strand one. Middle of the fourth here in Philadelphia. fruit smoothies. Try a small for just $2.29 only at McDonald's. I'm loving it. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play Jumbo Bucks, this month's new instant game from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly and buy your local Dodge dealers. The last of the fourth, Phillies need to get their offense rolling again because they trail it by 3. They trailed it 3-0, scored 2 in the second. But the Brewers have tacked on single runs in the third and fourth. And Victorino's in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, this is a pitcher that shouldn't hold down this offense, thinking that they're going to be able to score runs. Just need to hold them right where they're at.
Toward the gap in left center field. Kane on the run. So is Braun, and it's sliced right back to Kane. That guy's quick, too. He got to the spot.
Quick, and he plays deep. So he just had to cut across. But encouragement, hitting the ball hard, that's what you want to do.
Sarge, I posed this question to Wheels about facing former teammates. If you're a pitcher and you face your former teammates, is it easier for you or the hitter?
I think it depends, obviously, on the hitter. You know, the pitcher having, or the hitter having confidence that he knows this particular pitcher, that becomes a little bit easier. But then also that pitcher knows your weakness. And especially with 2 strikes, he'll try and exploit that. If you've been swinging at pitches that are up in the zone, 2 strikes, you're going to get that. But then you know velocity as a hitter and the way the ball moves, that's always an advantage.
Could you recall any former teammates that you enjoyed facing?
Yeah, Mike Krukow, for one. Like to kid him quite a bit. John Montefiusco, I mean, I remember facing him back. Those guys threw me a lot of sliders.
Francisco's down on strikes. That's the second out. Hey, Friday, September 24th is the start of a 3-game series between the Phillies and the New York Mets. 2 night games and then the day game. Tickets are still available for both of the night games by going to Phillies.com. Get your seats by clicking on to the Phil's website or calling 215-463-1000. Here's Ruiz, who had a 2-run double his first time up. And he takes a fastball at the knees. Well, I guess when you faced your former teammates and you saw all sliders, you probably thought, huh, that must have been what they were thinking every time I went up to the plate and went down on strikes against those sliders.
That's exactly right. So you're going to get them from any of the guys that were on your team before. But certain pitchers, they have, I mean, if they're throwing fastball, changeup, and curve, that's what they're going to throw.
6 games with 3 or more hits since the All-Star break for Ruiz. Hitting over 300 since the break.
He just has great confidence at the plate. Hitting is confidence. He's able to take the cold pitches, been aggressive on fastball, and being able to think along with that pitcher, which always helps. Changes his approach a little later in the game because he knows it could be a pinch hitter that would hit behind him as opposed to the pitcher.
Rolls that one foul. Carlos just asked the home plate umpire, Jim Joyce, to have Randy throw the ball in. That was the ball that he just hit foul. Carlos thinking if it skipped along the dirt, might cause a scuff that could benefit Randy Wolf. Wilson Valdez has come out to the on-deck circle. So I guess Kyle Kendrick's day is done. There's ball 4. And it's a 2-out walk to Ruiz. And here comes Valdez. So Kyle lasts just 4 innings this afternoon. He went 5+ in his last outing against the Dodgers. David Herndon has been loosening up.
Well, really, though, the one bad pitch to Felder there. And again, fastball. And the location was the problem. Get the fastball, maybe down and away a little bit, but he's looking fastball all the way. It's just almost like a 2-0, 3-1 count for guys that are fastball hitters.
Off the end of the bat, he pulls it toward third. McGee charges and throws him out. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left for the Phillies. We've completed 4. We'll get a new pitcher for the Phillies when we come back at the top of the 5th. Clark and Mike Missinelli have all the highlights, insights, fan interaction, and much more. It's the Xfinity Phillies postgame show right after the game on MyPHL 17. Well, hopefully that John and Mike talk about a Phillies victory. Phillies will have to come from behind to do it. They trail at 5-2, and they'll turn the game over to David Herndon. He's the new pitcher for the Phillies. He takes over for Kyle Kendrick. 39th game for David. 1-3 with a 4.37 earned run average. And he'll be the long man for this afternoon. Again, tomorrow the Phillies will have some reinforcements. Scott Matheson's been activated for today. And the Phillies will announce after the ball game today probably who the starters will be in order in tomorrow's day-night doubleheader against the Marlins. Vance Worley and Nate Robertson are here. They won't be activated till tomorrow. One of those guys will start one of those day-night doubleheaders. As Ryan Braun fouls the first pitch off. Roy Oswalt will start one of the games, and I mentioned yesterday what an interesting conversation it was with Rich Doobie about that decision, Sarge. You know, there are different theories. Throw your best pitcher in game one, try to get a victory. The veteran pitchers, sometimes they like to pitch the night game, so you think about that. Roy Oswald's thinking is, well, I want to face whoever the best guy is.
Well, I think that's super. You know, I think Carlton, though, he would do that same thing. Want to face that best guy and put him down, but I think for me it says a lot about Roy Oswald and exactly what kind of guy that he is. Not wanting to face the pitcher that he feels isn't the best, wants to go up against the best. Well, when you have those type of pitchers that Roy has, you don't mind going up against the best or whoever it might be because he feels he's as good as anyone. And the way he's been pitching, I mean, you almost can't even doubt that.
1-2 the count to Braun. And 2 balls and 2 strikes. I can see all sides. You know what Rich Doobie was saying about, you know, about talking to whoever the pitcher is, the veteran pitcher, and see where they're comfortable, but also wanting to get the victory in game one, maybe carry it over to game 2.
With the veteran pitchers, they're going to make the call on that.
Into the hole and into left field for Braun, his second hit of the day.
Pretty good pitch he hit. Ball he went down and actually raked that ball into left field. Yeah, but from my experience, I mean, the guys that are veteran pitchers, it's always been their call on whether or not they want to pitch the first game or the night game. And I think it's how that pitcher feels comfortable. But getting back to Roy and saying, well, it doesn't matter if it's day or night. Give me the guy that you think is the best pitcher on their squad. That's the commendable. I mean, it's just.
That's the competitor in him.
Well, exactly.
We know that he's going to pitch one of those 2 games tomorrow against the Marlins. He's pitched very well since putting on a Phillies uniform.
And likes to compete.
The ball came back over the inside corner. A good pitch by Herndon. It's 0-2.
It's okay to come in there off the plate. Just don't want to live in there.
Try to check his swing. No appeal.
Good hard slider. The difference, though, between this kid and a lot of other hitters, you make a mistake inside, and more than likely he's going to hit the ball hard, and that's just trouble.
Well, he is playing in his 321st consecutive game, which is the Brewers franchise record. And it's currently the longest active streak in baseball. And we say that on the anniversary of Cal Ripken tying Lou Gehrig's mark of 2,130 straight games back in 1995, a record that he subsequently broke. Three and 2 the count. Braun goes. Chopper toward first, fair ball, and Ryan will just step back on the bag. So Braun's at second with 1 out.
That's a long time to be able to play. And I mean, to play that hard and not sustain any injuries, that's going to keep you out of the games. I think really that's just, it's just unbelievable.
Well, and in this day and age, too, I think we all marveled when Cal Ripken played in 2,632 consecutive games. But in this day and age, guys just don't play every day.
Right. They don't play every day, and a lot has to do with the scheduling. Again, though, Phil, one of those players can say, hey, I want to be in the lineup, and it's done. Now, everybody doesn't have that luxury, but you get that by the way that you go out and hit and by the way that you're swinging. So, obviously, he hasn't gone into any prolonged type of slumps. and playing first base. Let's face it, don't have to move all that much. That's why the record that Cal has, Ripken, because of the fact that he's in plays, double plays, getting over runners coming in, and at a position where he continually moves to play that many consecutive games is just unbelievable. And to produce. Well, he wasn't just playing just to set the record. I mean, this guy was producing on a yearly basis to be able to get that record.
Line shot foul, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike to McGee. Phillies trail at 5-2. Brewers scored 3 in the first, and then a single run in the third, a single run in the fourth. Those runs against Kyle Kendrick, and now David Herndon's on. He has a runner in scoring position with 1 away here in the top of the 5th. Swing and a miss. That's a good sinker. It's 2-2. Well, it's 3-2 now to McGee. Lorenzo Cain is the on-deck hitter. Inside, ball 4. So 2 aboard. And now Herndon could set up the double play with runners on first and second with 1 out. Well, the Atlanta Braves are locked right now in a 6-6 game with the Florida Marlins. They'll be in town for one last loud series. Monday, September 20th is the beginning of a 3-game set. All 3 games are night games here at the ballpark. That first one is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, you can get your tickets by going to Phillies.com or by calling 215-463-1000. And you see the Toyota Major League scoreboard, 6-6, top of the 8th. Both bullpens are in and firing. As Cain whacks the first pitch foul, and it's 0-1.
It's amazing how they came back in this game. There's just no quit in that Atlanta Braves ball club. And you would think after Chipper Jones going down that they would lose some momentum. Just hasn't happened.
Well, with the Padres faltering the way they have over the last week or so, Phillies and the Braves find themselves with 2 of the best records in the National League. In fact, the Braves 79-57 mark is just below the Reds 79-56 record, and the Phillies are 20 games over 500 with the third best record in the National League. Over to third, a foul ball. Braves with 41 come from behind victories. I think every year, Sarge, you see the top 2 or 3 teams and those come from behind victories, and they're usually among the leaders in the division.
Gotta have it. Just not going to always be ahead, but gotta have the ability to be able to come back late in ball games. Usually means that you will be in postseason play.
Swing and a miss. He got it. 2 outs.
Good pitch.
Escobar has grounded out twice. Once to first, once to the mound.
Milwaukee's another one of those clubs. Don't know whether or not they're in a rebuilding situation or they're trying to compete. They have some younger players on the team there. Pitching, however, is the name of the game.
It's funny, Sarge. I think if they had been able to re-sign CC Sabathia, things may have been a little different for the ball club.
Well, that was huge. Especially the way that he pitched and pitched down the line. I'm sure the Fighting Phils feel lucky to have beaten him the way they did, but they put a little pounding on him.
Ground ball to third. That's a fair ball. Polanco takes it the short way to third. And the side is retired. No runs, a hit. 2 men left for Milwaukee. We played 4.5. The Phils offense looking to come to life. And help give returning vets a piece of the high life. Go to MillerHighLife.com for details. Miller High Life has some of those great commercials that you see and you've seen for the last couple of years with a gentleman who is the delivery man for Miller High Life, and his latest one, which is in honor of the MillerHighLife.com effort to support the vets coming home, is when he arrives at the airport and sees a piece of luggage that has all this glitter on it with these initials. It says, who puts their initials on their luggage that way? And then an Army vet, his bag comes down the conveyor belt. And he says, he talks about him putting his name on his luggage bag and shakes his hand. And that's all part of that effort for Miller High Life to get folks to donate their tabs to their cans and the caps to their bottles for that effort to support the vets coming home. Jimmy Rollins leads it off here in the bottom of the 5th. Jimmy has struck out and grounded out in today's ball game. Hitless in the series, 0 for 9. Broke his bat softly to short. Escobar bobbles and J-Roll's safe at first.
Another reason why you never take it for granted and you hustle all the way. J-Roll hitting a breaking ball, just down, if you will.
Oh, E6. It was a throwing error by Ryan Braun last night that opened the gates for the Phillies. Let's see if this one will open the gates.
Oh, he got it in just good fashion there. Just couldn't put a grip on the ball. Couldn't get it out of his glove. If he does, you can see J-Roll just getting into the pitcher. He would have had him dead to right.
It's the pressure of speed and trying to hurry that throw. And Chase takes a slider for strike one. It's 0-1. Chase has 2 hits today.
One single to center, or both singles to center. One a liner and one a roller right up the middle. Phillies trying to get something going against Randy Wolf.
What you want to do, chip away. So let's face it, if J-Ro can get a jump, you want to go on and go.
Randy has a pretty good move, but if you can figure it out, as you saw by that graphic, you can steal against him. Hit hard, right at fielder. Steps on the bag for one, and now they got J-Ro in a rundown. See if Jimmy can run away from the Brewers. He can't. That's a double play, 2 away.
Well, nothing you can do about that. Saw that one hop right back at fielder there. Made it an easy play, just stepping on first, and J-Ro in the rundown.
Oh, the double play will go,
right
as you see.
Right on the line there, too, Tom, where he was. You can see that with a runner on, if that ball's down the line, you're going to be out. And J-Ro gets in the rundown. Almost impossible to get out unless someone does something wrong, like drop the ball.
3-6-1-4 is the double play. 2 outs here in the 5th. Here's Polanco. Stardo loosening up in the pen. Herndon pitched the scoreless 5th, but he threw a lot of pitches. Polanco singled his first time up and then popped out to foul territory his last time. 1 for 2 this afternoon. And he's aboard with a 2-out walk. Boy, one swing and the Phillies are right back within reach. I mean, they're within reach anyway. It's a 5-2 game.
Well, you're right, especially too. I mean, wind blowing out to right field. Haven't been a lot of balls squared up today by the fighting field. There's that wind. So many guys on the team that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. You feel that you're still in the game at just about all times, and evident of how many games they've come back on this year.
Ryan is 0 for 2. Hit it to a double play his first time up when the Phillies had runners on first and second. And the third, he was retired. A pop up into foul territory to Casey McGee with a runner at first. Now he's up here with a runner at first and 2 gone. Swing and a miss and a real slow curve. Slowest one of the day, 65 miles an hour.
Wow. Location is what counts. Pretty good pitch. This ball here bends away. He ran out in front. Anytime a hitter is out in front of on his front foot, going to lose all of his power.
And then he comes back with a little cheese at 89 miles an hour. And the side is retired. Randy Wolf picks up another strikeout. This one finishes off the 5th. No runs, no hits. 1 man left for the Phillies. We're through 5 here at Philadelphia. Chase Utley. You can't swing with a bad hand, but when the hand is better, the bat returns. The power and production took a trip to the West and delivered in the clutch. Like a flip of the switch, extra base hits are coming in bunches, and none bigger than a Rocky Mountain Slam. The chase is back on, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, the chase certainly is back on as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Charlie Magno had a great quote yesterday when he was asked about his team leading the wild card. The Phillies lead the wild card by 3 games as play began today. Trailed the division by a game behind the Atlanta Braves. He said getting in is the biggest thing, meaning the playoffs. But it's a big deal for us to win our division. That's all about home field advantage. To me, that's a bigger deal. So, yeah, you'd accept the wild card invitation as Antonio Bastardo is the new pitcher for the Phillies, his 19th game. 1-0 with a 5.79 earned run average. But Charlie understands from being in the postseason the last couple of years and being in the World Series the last 2 years how important home field advantage is. And if the Phillies were to win the East again, maybe they'd edge out the Reds for best record. And then they'd have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but at least for the first round.
Well, home field is definitely an advantage. Being able to play any of the crucial games, and especially game 1. We've always talked about that. That being the most important game of the series. Takes pressure off of you.
They appeal to Mike Estabrook. He says no swing. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Kataris.
But Charlie being smart on that because he doesn't want his club to become, well, just lethargic in the way where you're just thinking about, oh, well, okay, we'll get in with that wild card.
Yeah, there's something to be said about being content.
Well, and especially now.
You see the home field advantage and what kind of an advantage it is for the Phillies. They score more runs. They pitch better here at home. And they've won more games.
Yeah, and you have your fans here giving you that extra boost, which is always important.
That's a big deal, particularly at this great ballpark and the way the fans have been over the last, well, really since the ballpark opened. Swing and a miss. Good fastball from Bastardo. 1 away.
Boy, if he starts to throw strikes, he's going to be really difficult to hit, especially from that side. As you see that fastball, he just throws it right by him.
There's Randy Wolf. He's 0 for 2. Late on a fastball, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Speaking of the Braves and the Phillies, if the Braves and the Phillies tied for the top spot in the division and the East had the wild card, they would go with the head-to-head record to decide who would represent the National League East as its champion. Now, if, let's say, the Giants, who are currently in 2nd place in the West, or the Cardinals, who are in 2nd place in the Central, overtake the Phillies or the Braves in the wild card race, then there'd be a 1-game playoff. Chase Utley retires Randy Wolf with 2nd out. Hey, this January, it's your chance of a lifetime. If you're 30 years old or older, Phillies Fantasy Camp will take place the 19th to the 23rd in Clearwater, Florida. The package includes hotel accommodations, practice, and instruction from baseball legends such as Mitch Williams, Greg Luzinski, Jim Eisenreich, Mickey Morandini, and of course the commish Larry Anderson. Get a fantasy game versus the legends at Bright House Field. Get your tickets by going to 610 or calling 610-520-3400. Very few spots still available. Back to the top of the order for the Brewers. Ricky Weeks has had a good day. He's 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. And he takes a slider for strike 1. 76 runs batted in for Weeks.
That's a lot of RBIs for that leadoff spot. 25 home runs is very impressive.
Think he would be better suited toward the middle of the lineup?
Maybe that second hitter, or could be better 6th or 7th. But you know, in Milwaukee, you got to go with what you have. He becomes their best leadoff hitter in terms, I guess, of their speed. Escobar, a little bit too young for me right now.
He used to have that bat waggle like Gary Sheffield.
Yep.
Well, the first 2 games of the series, the 1 through 4 hitters accounted for 6 hits. Today alone, they're 7 for 11 with 5 RBI and 4 runs scored. Two and 2 the count to Weeks, and it's 3-2. He's varied his fastball in this outing between 91 and 94.
Yeah, the problems he has been having has been against the right-handed hitters, hitting in the 300s. The left-handers, he's been giving those guys fits.
Little looper over the head of Chase Utley, and it drops in for a base hit. 3rd hit of the day for Weeks. And he's aboard with 2 men down here in the 6th. It's so important to keep this at a 3-run game and give the offense a chance to get something either against Randy Wolf or eventually the bullpen. So the pressure's on Bastardo to retire Corey Hart.
Well, he did throw a breaking ball there, 3-2. Weeks was just up to the task and just taking what he gave him, not over swinging and punching the ball into right field.
Corey Hart has an RBI and a run scored, 2 for 3 in today's ball game. Scored a run back in the 1st. Not surprising that he's struggled so much against lefties since the first week of July. And it's 0-2.
Well, I feel the same way, although, again, it has been the year of the pitcher. When you're talking about Hart, you're talking about Jason Worth, and facing a left-hander where the ball is coming to you, both of those guys should be doing more damage. You see the ball a lot better coming in from the left side. Both guys are fastball hitters. Jason proved it last year, the damage that he did with left-handed pitchers.
Swing and a miss. He got him on a slider. And the side is retired. 2 strikeouts here in the 6th for Antonio Bastardo. He leaves the only runner that got aboard. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Philadelphia area Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. By Southwest Airlines. Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Xfinity. It's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. Bottom of the sixth, the Phillies haven't scored a run since the second on a gorgeous day here in Philadelphia. I mean, it is picture perfect on this Labor Day weekend. We hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend. I know a lot of the kids have already gone back to school in Pennsylvania. In New Jersey, a lot of times it'll begin after Labor Day. Jason Worth sends one in the air deep to right center, and Corey Hart is there to make the catch right near the scoreboard.
Boy, I thought that wind was going to take that ball a little bit further. Got pretty good wood on it. I take a look at this and his swing. That ball there, kind of an inside-out type swing. Well, he got good wood on it, though. You can see how tall that Corey Hart is.
Well, Jason's retired, one away. Here is Victorino taking all the way, takes a strike. And it's 0-1. Shane's 0 for 2. He's fly to right, fly to center. Hits it hard to third. Boy, Casey McGee's made some pretty good plays over at third. I mean, that one's hit right at him. But he still looked pretty comfortable.
Yeah, he catches those balls easily coming into third base. See a little smile on him. Has soft hands.
Was he around the Cubs at all when you were there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But we had Ramirez, so he wasn't going to play very much. But he showed good signs of being a good athlete, and he can hit. He can swing the bat.
Did he show you any of what he showed? I mean, he's got 86 RBIs this year.
Well, I mean, he didn't get a chance to play, so you never knew what he was going to do offensively. But in the games that he played in, you could tell this guy was a comer and that could play on another team. You know, he insides out the ball quite a bit, stays up the middle.
Just wondered if they ever gave him a chance to play another position, even though they had Ramirez locked up. That gentleman made a pretty good play.
It's going to probably have to be the infield. And take another look at that.
That's the second ball that he grabbed today. In fact, he gave the first one to a youngster behind him.
Yeah, that's the way you're supposed to catch them when they come up there. Instead of ducking, you just kind of give with that ball a little bit, Tom.
That youngster should just hold it up and make it seem like he caught it.
Well, we'd have to call false hustle on that one. I'm glad that he got the ball, obviously. Old school uniform there, even though Utley's on it.
And a swing and a miss and a 1-2-3. An easy sixth inning for Randy Wolf. He's retired 4 in a row. We've played 6 here in Philadelphia. It's the Brewers 5, the Phillies 2.
couple 3-run leads in this game. For the Milwaukee Brewers, that's where it stands right now as we check out the Verizon Wireless game summary. Prince Fielder got it started with a 3-run home run in the first inning. Ricky Weeks has 3 hits this afternoon. Randy Wolf, about 100 pitches through 6 innings, but has only given up 2 runs. And Carlos Ruiz has knocked in the Phillies 2 runs with a double towards the left field corner.
Well, the last 2 guys out of the pen, David Herndon and Antonio Bastardo, have done a nice job making sure that this stays at a 3-run game. And now it's up to Chad Durbin. His 52nd ball game. Chad is 4-1. And he'll face Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, and Casey McGee. 3, 4, and 5 for the Brewers. Braun today has 2 hits and 3 at bats. Doubled and scored in the first, flied to left, and singled back in the 5th. They are in the bottom of the 9th inning down in South Florida. That game is still tied at 6 apiece. The Braves and the Marlins. Marlins will come north and take on the Phillies for 4 games in 3 days, beginning tomorrow afternoon at 1:05. Seats are still available for both that game and the night game here at the ballpark. Some other games around the National League. The Reds lead the Cardinals 2-1 in the top of the 6th. Orlando Cabrera, he's done with his bat boy duties, and he has 2 RBIs for the Reds. Did you see that about a week or so ago?
Yeah.
10 days ago. He was the bat boy in Cincinnati.
When he's on the DL.
Yep. Just trying to help the ball club out.
Well, that's what Ali Madami does for the Phillies. You know, when they're bullpen batting practice guys. He's been a good luck charm sometimes down there as a bat boy. You never know.
2-2 the count to Braun. Amazing looking around the rest of the National League East. The Phillies have games only against the East after this. I mean, Charlie was somewhat prophetic back in August when he said, you know, if they could stay close, as Durbin hits the outside corner to Braun, if they could stay close, it's going to come down to September and those last 25 games because they're all against the East. I mean, it's not the case for all of the teams in the division.
No. Well, no. Now, for example, the Braves go to Pittsburgh for 3 this week and say, well, they should beat the Pirates, and they should, but the Phillies didn't when they had their chance. And the Cardinals then come into Atlanta after that.
Right.
And the Braves are going to catch the Cardinals when they're not so good as they were earlier. So a lot of times it depends on when you play a team or how you play against them. The Phillies lose 3 out of 4 to the Pirates.
Yeah, Ken Maka was talking yesterday about, you know, the Astros. His team has to face the Astros. Now, neither team is in the race for the wild card or for the division. But the Astros are playing some very good baseball right now.
Yep. They spoiled the Phillies and the Cardinals.
And Ken Maka is thinking about trying to get as close to 500, if not better. Right now his team's 10 games or 11 games under 500. Up until last year, he had never managed a team in the minors or in the majors that finished less than 500.
Yeah, I have a tough time not doing that again this year.
Ball 4. And Fielder's aboard with a 1-out walk. Casey McGee has walked. He has grounded out and struck out.
Trying to hold the fort here is, as Tom said, the bullpen. Durbin trying to do it right now. As the Phillies bats once again, as Frank Lucchese used to say, are in the doodlums. Just offensively, it is a struggle this year. Doesn't matter who's pitching.
2-0 the count. Well, the Phillies bullpen has been very good. Now they're atop the leaderboard in fewest innings pitched this year, and in games. That's because of all the Phillies shutouts and complete games that they've picked up. But a 3.86 ERA. And like the starting staff, boy, they have really picked it up since the All-Star break. I mean, the ERA is a little higher, but a lot of the other numbers are better. And they're also getting a lot more innings since the All-Star break.
And so stats can be deceiving, or they can be accurate. And what it comes down to is you know what you see. And it's been better. Now, you can have a bullpen come in a mop-up thing, give up 6, 7 runs or something that blows the earned run average up. So it skewers it a little bit. But when you watch it, you know it's better.
Runner goes. Pitch is hit back toward the middle. Jimmy has it. Flips with his glove to Chase. There's one. Oh, there's two. How about that double play? Casey McGee is injured at the end of it. Well, that's a heck of a turn by Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley. And the side is retired here in the 7th. Well, we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Those two are so comfortable with each other that one knows where the other is at all times. And the only way Jimmy was able to get Fielder at second was flipping it with his glove. And then Chase, after getting the extra grip, throws out Casey McGee, and the side is retired. Which you won't get. Who was the first Brewer pitcher in '98 to get a hit after Milwaukee switched from the AL to the NL with no DH?
I have no idea.
You want a hit?
No. Oh, yeah.
Sure. All right, we saw him in St. Louis this year.
I don't know that.
Cal Eldred, back on opening day, March 31st, 1998, got a hit off of Greg Maddox.
Where did we see him?
He pitches, throws batting practice for the Cardinals.
I didn't see him.
I saw him.
I had no idea who that was throwing batting practice. How'd you know that?
I saw Eldred on the back, and I asked him if that was Cal Eldred.
Oh, he had Eldred in the back of the unit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good.
I'll log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
I know the name. I mean, I know who Cal Eldred is and all that, but that would have been that was a tough one. You're right. There's no chance.
It's interesting, though, that in our lifetime we've seen a team switch from the American League to the National League.
Yep.
In Major League Baseball. And there's some people that think that there could be realignment eventually.
Yep. We talked about it. One time they were talking about contraction. That didn't happen. It's out in September. Here come the shadows.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the light towers, the shadow of the light tower creeping out toward the mound.
There it is. You know, it's late in the year when you start to see that stuff. So it'll become advantage pitcher before long. You like to have the lead when these shadows start, and the Phillies certainly do not have the lead.
1 ball, 1 strike to Carlos Ruiz. A 2-run double today. This is probably Randy Wolf's last inning. He's at 102 pitches. And Cameron Lowe and Zach Braddock are both loosening up.
Lowe's been in the first 2 games in this series, and both of those, and Braddock was in the game last night. Great shots of his mom.
Line drive to left. Braun coming on, and he makes the sliding grab. That ball nearly ate him up. 1 out here in the 7th.
Yeah, well, he got caught in between a little bit because with a 3-run lead, you don't want to let that ball go past you. And you know, he had gotten to the point where he had committed, and he figured, well, I may as well just go for it because I can't block it. Then he takes it off to the side.
Charlie Manuel, I think he's going to go out to argue whether he caught that ball or not. Well, the vantage point that we just had, he caught the ball.
Like he caught it. Yeah. Didn't look like a short hop in there, did it?
No. It looked like he caught it. Naked eye, it looked like he caught it. They're going to confer now. Mike Estabrook's going to ask Darryl Cousins. Now, Darryl Cousins was probably shielded by Ryan Braun's body. So I can't imagine he had a better view than Mike Estabrook on that. And Charlie seems to be content. Jim Joyce talks with Charlie as he walks down the third base line. So 1 away, and Mike Sweeney is going to be the pinch hitter for the Phillies.
Good job by the umpires, though, to get together there, talk it over. They got it right the first time, but you know, talk it over, see if somebody else saw anything else that maybe had a better angle.
And we have seen, we say that good job by the umpires, but there's the grab, just the freeze frame. It's in his glove.
Right there, you see, it's well above the ground. So it's a good catch. I don't know if it was a smart play or not, but it turned out to be an out, and that's what they wanted.
Mike Sweeney, a .227 hitter with a home run and 7 RBIs. That home run came in San Diego. It was a big one. All part of that successful road trip the Phillies had. And he's behind 0-2. Well, down in Florida, they began that game at noon today because of the day-night doubleheader tomorrow. They wanted to get an early start on their trek to Philadelphia, and they've got to the 10th inning.
Yep, and a rain delay and an extra inning game. Best laid plans. One of those things for them.
1-2 the count.
And nice for the Fish to walk off with a win there after blowing a 6-0 lead.
Hit toward the hole. McGee dives. He's got it to his feet. And Fielder hangs on to the bag in a very awkward way. 2 outs.
Well, that was a circus play on both ends. 2 big guys. The ball wasn't hit very hard, so McGee had a shot at it. Kind of nubbed out there. Now he makes a really good play there. Now his throw's a little wide. And here comes Prince doing his Nuryov.
And he did have to get his foot back on the bag. Whoa.
Man. It worked.
He is a big man. I tell you, his dad could hit, but he couldn't field like him. Jimmy hits it to the gap in right center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Cut off by Kane. It'll hold Jimmy at first. And for J-Ro, his first hit of the series and his first hit here at the ballpark since the second game against the Astros.
If Ken Mock is thinking about another left-hander right now.
Hey, Friday, September 17th, we showed you the Cabrini College knit caps They'll be given out to all fans 15 and over. It's part of a 3-game series, the kickoff to the 3-game series against the Nationals. You can get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Nationals are leading the Pirates 8-1 in the top of the 7th. Ryan Zimmerman, 4 RBIs. By the way, that hit by Jimmy Rollins is the 1,705th hit of his career. That ties him for 6th place in Phillies history with the great Chuck Klein. And here comes Ken Maka, and he is going to the left-hander.
He wants another left-hander. He has one on the mound, but the one on the mound thrown 109 pitches. So he decided he's going to go to the South Jersey guy, Zach Braddock.
So Braddock will come on for Randy Wolf. Wolf goes 6 2/3 this afternoon. He leaves with a 3-run lead here at Philly. Two-thirds, scatters 7 hits. The 1 runner on is his responsibility, and he was pretty good today, Wills.
Yeah, he got him out. He gave up the 2-run double, but he mixed his pitches up well, threw 2 key double play balls. That one to Ryan Howard, and another one later on. There's a high fastball to Jason Worth. Ben Francisco strikes out on a changeup, and Ryan Howard struck out on like a slider. So the other double play was a ball hit by Chase Utley right at the bag. And that right now is his line, of course, responsible for the runner at first base. And the pitcher of record now for his potential 11th win of the year.
Well, here's Zach Braddock, who was in last night's ball game and allowed the 2 decisive runs to score for the Phillies. South Jersey native out of Gloucester Catholic in his 38th game overall. 1-1 with a 2.67 earned run average. He delivers a fastball on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
Guy's done a good job for him. He came in was kind of hammered last night, it looked like. Walk Wilson Valdez, and he was involved in that crazy inning when the Phillies won the game. Maybe a little less adrenaline this afternoon.
Well, he's ahead 0-2 now to Chase.
Shadow of the light tower now coming right between home plate and the mound. It'll get tougher to see.
Here it is. Popped a mile high in front of the plate. Kataris, the catcher, off with the mask, and he puts it away. And Braddock does settle in and has a better outing today than he had last night as he retires Chase Utley. And the Phillies leave one at first. No runs, 1 hit, 1 bad left. We go to the 8th in a 3-run game. Stores by W.B. Mason. Who but W.B. Mason for amazingly low office product prices. And by Honda. Look for money-saving leases and low financing at your Honda dealer. 45,000 plus here at the ballpark. Brewers lead 5-2. They scored 5 runs in 4 innings against Kyle Kendrick. They had 7 hits. The Fanatic trying to rile up the crowd. This might rile the crowd up a little bit on the Toyota Major League scoreboard. Scott Cousins picked up an RBI single in the bottom of the 10th that won it for the Fish over the Braves 7-6. So a win today, and the Phillies could be in a tie for first place in the National League East. Here's Scott Matheson. Matheson just put on the roster today. And he's on to face Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, and George Contreras. See the numbers for Matheson at Lehigh Valley. He had a good year, 26 saves. 44 of his 54 appearances were scoreless. He came up earlier this year and his one game was a little jittery.
Yeah, he had a lot of trouble with his command in that game. Emilio Bonifacio led off that inning with a triple, and then Cousins singled. So they scored boom, boom.
Matheson's fastball will be in the mid-50s, or mid-90s, excuse me. And he'll throw a slider as well. The Phillies hired Hall of Famer Bruce Sutter to be part of their development staff. And Sutter has such a good split that a guy like Matheson may be one of the guys that he teaches that split to.
We'll see if he throws it. A far fastball and a breaking ball we know that he has.
.96 with that fastball. It's 3-2.
Yeah, and it depends on his command and whether it moves or not. You know, if you in the major leagues now, it's maybe not today with the shadows, but in the major leagues, it doesn't matter how hard you throw if you throw it in the middle of the plate.
Now that's high, ball 4, and Cain is aboard with a leadoff walk.
Had him throw a 3-2 breaking ball, looked like.
Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Escobar hitless in 3 at-bats. This is the issue that Matheson had in his last outing with the Phillies, was just getting the ball down in the zone into the strike zone.
Yeah, because then, I mean, Ruiz just had him throw a 3-2 slider there. Didn't want to throw a fastball.
Line drive to center. That's a base hit. Up to second goes Cain. So 2 aboard with nobody out. Taris is 1 for 3. He's grounded out. He doubled and scored back in the 4th, and he struck out.
They got
up there to sacrifice.
Well, I'm just going to say they have to talk over bunt play now. As you see, Matheson was just talking to Polanco, puts it on, and you know, since Matheson just got here, he wants to make sure what they're doing. They're going to hit for the pitcher, so yeah, they could conceivably bunt here, sure. Whether or not they think Contreras can get it down for them.
He does get it down. He bunts it toward third, and Polanco throws him out. The sacrifice is successful. And one away with runners on second and third.
That's a real good job by the catcher Contreras to make the third baseman field the bunt.
First sacrifice bunt of his career.
First for everything, huh? Now you got to play the infield in.
And they'll do so with Joe Inglet. England went down on strikes last night as a pinch hitter against Brad Lidge. 19 for 58 as a pinch hitter. That's a lot of pinch hit appearances. Hitting over 300 in that role.
I mean, you must be taking a lot of pitchers out.
That's a good point.
Pinch hits. You know, you're normally hitting for that 9-hole guy.
Well, and if you go to any of the stat sites, you see what England has done as a pinch hitter. And if you punch in the number 9 spot to see which pitchers have the best average in the league, and if you put a minimum of 50 ABs in the 9 spot, England's name pops up there. He's the only position player whose name pops up
there you go. I mean, I just kind of threw that out there, but you would think that that's what they're doing, is hitting for the pitcher a lot. He's a 9-hole hitter, huh? It's not because of the DH. Got a lot of motion. We talked about him the other night. It's hard to explain what he does. He kind of cocks the bat, and then he loads, and then he fires. But it works for him. Watch all the stuff he does with his hands. Has that little waggle, and then loads up, and then he does swing hard. Just think good fastball, you can get it by him, but you know it works for him, I guess.
Fastball, take it outside. They throw behind Kane, and it's 3-1. Carlos trying to sneak it out. And a slider that drops in for strike 2.
Carlos Ruiz is really trying to help Matheson right now, calling breaking balls behind in the count. He did a not the other one. He did 3-2. There he throws a 3-1, trying to get the hitters off his fastball.
And a called strike 3.
Another slider.
That one was a lot slower than the others.
Unless that was a changeup.
I was wondering if it was the split. It's a called strike 3 for the second out. Whatever it was a really good pitch.
It's a breaking ball. It'd take a lot of guts to call a 3-2 splitter, wouldn't it?
It would. But it was way slower than the other ones.
I don't know. Looked like it was spinning like a breaking ball. We'll have to find out.
Well, 2 away with 2 runners in scoring position. Here's Ricky Weeks. He has 3 hits today and 4 official at-bats. And now the infield can settle back. And a little high with that first fastball. It's 1-0.
See, his fastball has a lot of velocity, but it's up. And if it's up there, you know, the odds are they'll take it or they can't handle it. But if it's up and in the strike zone, bang, in the big leagues.
There's a slider hit in the air to right field. Worth is over, makes the catch, and the side is retired. Well, Matheson allowed the first 2 runners to get aboard, but he leaves them in scoring position. We've played 7.5 here in Philadelphia. The Phils still down by just 3 with 3, 4, and 5 due up. National League East, a day-night doubleheader. 105 and 705. 705 is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. There are seats available for all 4 games, including tomorrow's day-night doubleheader. Just log on to Phillies.com to get your tickets. Marlins won today over the Braves, so if Phillies win today, and the Phillies would go into tomorrow's ball game, both games, in first place in the National League East. They need some runs today against the Brewers bullpen. A bullpen that has had a much better earned run average since the 1st of August than at any other time this season. John Axford is the new pitcher for the Brewers, his 42nd game. Now, normally Axford would be the closer, but Trevor Hoffman is also in the bullpen, so he's been closing lately, and right now it's a 3-run game. And he's 1 save away from 600 for his career. Let's see if the Phillies can get something against Axford. And the first pitch to Polanco into the shadows is a strike, and it's 0-1.
It looks like they're trying to set it up to get him to 600 save. Huh?
I guess you have to, the way Trevor Hoffman's thrown this year, you have to look at the score. And right now it's a 3-run game. You may not be as secure with him if it's a 1-run game.
Or if it's out of a save situation where they use him. And the Phillies want to try and get some runs here. I mentioned earlier, it's getting a little tougher to see now for the hitters.
1-1 the count to Polanco. Gets it to short. Took a big hop, and there's 1 away. So Polanco's 1 for 3 this afternoon. Ryan Howard's 0 for 3. He's grounded into a double play. Popped out to the third baseman McGee in foul territory, and he struck out. Axford wasn't with the Brewers when the Phillies saw Milwaukee earlier this season. He was down in AAA, but he came up, and he's been a pretty good spark for a maligned bullpen.
Well, Ken Maka said that after the game. He said they desperately have to try and find some people to get outs out of their bullpen. It's been a huge problem for them.
Three-0 the count.
Some base runners.
Put some pressure on. Jason Worth is on deck.
Well, this crowd really wants to get into the game. You know, they were really loud when Polanco came up to hit. They haven't had much to cheer about today, so they want to get into this game in the worst way, and base runners will do that.
Ball 4, and Ryan's aboard, a 1-out walk. Randy Wolf did a good job today on 2 different occasions at getting double play balls. Wolf went 6 2/3, allowed 7 hits and 2 runs. Zach Braddock retired Chase Utley to finish the 7th. And here's John Axford, and the Phillies are looking to get something going against Axford.
The Phillies do have a very heavy left-handed bench here this afternoon. Schneider, Brown, Glode, Ibanez, Dobbs. They're down to Hoover from the right side after using Sweeney and Valdez.
And Charlie can use either Sweeney or Schneider because he has the luxury of having the other be the backup catcher.
Right. When you have these extra players now, you have a third catcher. It does give you some more versatility.
0-1 the count to Worth. Back-to-back fastballs, and it's 0-2.
I think Jason Worth's up there saying that thing sounded outside, because you could tell he didn't react at all.
And he's down on strikes as he gets the breaking ball.
It's really hard. I'm not making excuses, but I mean, that was not a good at bat, but it's hard to see. That doesn't mean guys can't hit the ball and do some things, but you want to be ahead when shadows come out like that this time of the year. He had no idea that thing was spinning like a breaking ball. You can't pick up spin. You got big problems.
The count's a shame. But Francisco waits on deck. Another base runner. The tying run is due up.
Nobody up in their bullpen.
Ball 4. 2 aboard, and the tying run is coming to the plate. Brewers have lost 5 consecutive games, and man, they have been a streaky team this year.
They're going to stay with the comes Peterson, the pitching coach, out. But they're going to stay with Francisco, even though they have all these left-handed hitters available. And you go over them, and the one I don't know, maybe Ibanez. Claude hasn't played. It's a tough spot to send him up.
Francisco is 1 for 3 today. He has struck out the last 2 times up. Phillies trail it by 3, 5-2. They've got Howard at second and Victorino at first. The tying run is at the plate. The base hit should score Howard easily. And there's strike 1.
One of the reasons probably leave Francisco in the game is he is a fastball hitter, and this guy is throwing a lot of fastballs.
Back-to-back fastballs, and it's 0-2. The glove of Gutierrez, and the runners will move up. It should be a pass ball.
Yeah, with the breaking ball, just I don't know, he didn't see it.
Kind of looked up a little bit too.
Yeah, that's definitely a pass ball. Here it is right there. It did not hit the ground. I don't think it hit the ground, did it?
No, it did not. He scored a wild pitch.
Well, if it didn't hit the ground, it should have been a pass ball, but it's a wild pitch.
So second and third with 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count.
Big spot right now. 2 walks and a wild pitch. Here it is again. Let's take a look. See, he pancakes it. Pass ball. You saw where his glove started to move. He hesitated, then he pancaked it. But that's all right. Get a base hit here, and you have a 1-run game.
Two and 2 the count. The RBI double by Ruiz. That's been it. A base hit would score 2. The 2-2 pitch to Francisco. Got a piece of it.
Very tentative swing. why right now you look for a dunker, maybe. Unless he can just square out the fastball.
Well, they've had enough of them today.
Well, they've had a few.
To the count.
They're waiting to get into it. Yeah, they got a shot now.
What a great sight to just sit back and watch everybody come to their feet. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the count. Foul ball.
That thing came running right into the middle of the plate. He knows, Ben knows he's never going to have a better fastball. Look at this thing. Oh, man. And he had a good swing at it. I don't know how to leave a pitcher's hand, actual hand. He had to think, oh no.
Yeah, bring it back. Fly ball to right field. Corey Hart with the sunglasses on puts it away. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 2 men left in scoring position. We go to the 9th at a 3-run game. Matheson has to quiet them down here at the top of the 9th. After the Brewers leave, the Phillies will take on the Florida Marlins for 4 games. All 4 are on Comcast Sportsnet. Then the off day on Thursday before the Phils head up to New York to take on the Mets. The final series up at Citi Field this year. And that 3rd game is the day game on MyPHL 17. Again, 25 games left in the regular season once this one is done. And Matheson is on to face Corey Hart here in the 9th. Hart is 2 for 4. Kyle Kendrick started the game, went 4 innings, allowed 7 hits and 5 runs. David Herndon and Antonio Bastardo combined with Chad Durbin to pitch scoreless baseball over the next 3. And now Matheson in his 2nd inning of work. Scott Matheson is coming back from 2 Tommy John surgeries. It's amazing that he can still throw as hard as he throws after those surgeries.
Well, a lot of breaking balls today. Threw some last inning, 3-2 breaking ball to end the inning.
Ball 4. And Hart's aboard. Second walk issued by Matheson. And that'll bring Ryan Braun to the plate. Phillies do have bullpen action. Jose Contreras is up and throwing in the pen.
And Hoffman is not up in their bullpen.
Maybe it'll be a 2-inning save by Axford, or save attempt.
Well, a hard thrower in these shadows is a good idea.
Quick reaction from Ruiz to grab that one.
Yeah, fastball like that, and he goes up and catches it, prevents a base runner from moving up, take the double play away.
Back toward the middle, a base hit for Braun. And the Brewers have 2 on for Prince Fielder.
It's a little spin and slider right in the middle of the plate, and you can see Braun hit it back through the middle.
Well, Charlie said it out to the mound. That's probably going to be it for Matheson. 26 pitches for a guy who usually pitches 1 inning down in the minor leagues. So Jose Contreras is going to come on. He'll come on in a tough spot with 2 runners on and nobody out here in the top of the 9th inning. The Phillies are trailing at 5-2. We'll be back in just a moment. Season series. Prince Fielder's played a big part in the Brewers having the 3-run lead this afternoon, and he delivered our W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
2 on with 1 out. And it looked like he was trying to get a backdoor cutter there. Oh no. And it came over the middle of the plate from Kyle Kendrick, and he hit a long, fast home run.
So Fielder with 30 home runs, 73 runs batted in. He's up. That ball went 440 feet. That's the estimated distance. So he certainly has enjoyed hitting at this ballpark. He has 2 aboard and nobody out here in the top of the 9th.
And he won't bunt.
It would be shocking if he does.
Yeah, there's 0 chance of that.
57th game for Contreras. His first full year as a relief pitcher.
Well, he's just trying to do everything they can right now here to hang on and not give up more runs.
Over toward first, a foul ball.
Got away last inning with 2 on and nobody out, and now trying it again this inning, 2 on, nobody out.
That was a fastball swing in a spot, and he got a splitter. Whether he can see it or not,
yeah, that's
not sure.
That's the whole thing. I mean, they're up there right now. These hitters, you almost feel sorry for them. You see him turn around like, what was that? Where was that?
Off the end of the bat, a spinner towards center. Victorino coming on, makes the catch. One away. I couldn't tell if that ball was going to drop or if it was going to hang up long enough for Victorino to come under it and make the grab. That'll bring Casey McGee to the plate.
The guys still wearing their sunglasses, even at this time of the day, in the shadows, trying to help out. And it seemed like Fielder and this guy McGee both had those real bright, kind of yellow orange ones that would brighten everything up a little bit. Yeah, see those kind of sunglasses? You don't even necessarily wear them during the game when the sun is bright and you're trying to, keep the sun out of your eyes. Those you'd wear more now to try and brighten up the area around home plate so you can see the ball better.
On the outside corner, no balls and 2 strikes. They tried to get him to go fishing, but he saw that one. If you get McGee here, you can conceivably get out of the inning with Lorenzo Cain up next. I say that more because of the inexperience of Cain and the experience of Contreras. Right side, that's going to sneak into right field, a base hit. Rounding third, heading from his heart. The throw by Jason Worth. It skips on one hop. He's out! Wow, did that ball skip right into the glove of Ruiz. 2 away.
Well, I think they gambled there just for the reason you mentioned, Tom. That you have an inexperienced guy coming up next, so you figure they didn't want to put it in his hands. They'd rather try and gamble that everything wouldn't go right, and it did for the Phillies. Jason Worth does a tremendous job charging that ball, and then he gives Carlos a long hop, and he's able to turn around and get him. It's the toughest play for the catcher because he doesn't know where the runner is. He's got to catch it, now spin around and look for him. He turns around, and there he was.
And he blocked the plate beautifully with his right foot, and that knocked that lead foot away that Hart was sliding with.
Well, if you're a catcher and you're getting a throw from that angle, you want a long hop like that, too. Because as you said, you got the foot down, and then you have to turn and find the guy.
Well, here's Cain, a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
Now watch. See, he has to catch it. He doesn't know where the runner is yet. Now he does. Turns around and says, oh, I got him. Here he comes. Catchers much rather have it coming from the other way so they can see the runner, too.
Little low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Cain reached on that walk his last time up. It's the only time he's been aboard in this series. On your right, Wheels, it is going to be Axford in the 9th because Trevor Hoffman's not loosening up.
Yeah. I thought maybe they give him a shot at it today. Shadows, 3-run lead.
That'll hook foul, and it remains 1-2.
That was a hanging splitter right there. He got it in an area where this kid could handle it. He doesn't, not Braun, but Kane, the batter. He looks like he's really vulnerable away, like a lot of young hitters are.
There is bullpen action for the Brewers. Stan Kiles is on the phone, and Jeffress is throwing for Milwaukee. And it just missed 2-2.
That could be if they take it out of a save. They still have a good ways to go before they get to the pitcher spot to hit for him. Well, he didn't mean to do that. Now you get the runners around.
To the count. Others go. A swiver to the right, to his left Utley. He's got it, hurries the throw, and it's dropped by Howard, and a run scores. 6-2 Milwaukee. And Chase hesitated once he picked it up, but Ryan just dropped it. He may have been safe anyway. I'm not sure.
It's going to be really close. That's a fast runner, and see, Utley doesn't get much on that throw. It's like Ryan Howard was trying to cheat a little bit coming off the bag because he knew it was going to be close. Let's see if he catches it. Well, the umpire made no indication whether or not he was going to call him safe, but it was going to be very close.
Yeah, and Chase didn't really hesitate. The ball was just not hit that hard, and Kane was hustling the whole way, and so was Braun. It's an E3, no RBI for Kane.
One of the problems with a ball like that hit to an infielder too is they're coming in sizing it up because it's spinning like crazy.
Yep.
Right-handed hitter hits that way. The ball's spinning like a top. So you want to make sure you catch it first, then throw it, obviously. And in that case, you know, he had to make sure he caught it and just try to get it there in time. And that guy can run out of the box.
Give him credit. He was flying up the line. Fly ball down the right field line. Ryan will give it a look, but it's back into the seats, and it's 0-2. So it's turned into a 4-run game. And it makes life a little more difficult for the Phillies in the bottom of the ninth. Opposite way on a couple of hops. Chase has got it, and the side is retired. A run, an unearned run, scores here at the top of the ninth. We go to the bottom of the ninth here in Philadelphia. The Phillies trailing by 4. One last chance against the Brewers bullpen. Milwaukee, and the Phillies trying to come from behind. A little late game magic. Again, if they win, they're tied for first in the National League East. If they wind up losing, they're still a game back behind the Braves. The Phillies have won the first 4 games here in the month of September, and they're trying to make it 5 straight and hand the Brewers their 6th consecutive loss. Carlos Ruiz, then it looks like Ross Glode, and then the top of the order. There's Ross. AT PHI is loosening in the bullpen for the Brewers. There's PHI. Ruiz has a hit in 2 official at-bats. He walked back to the 4th. He's driven in the only 2 runs for the Phils today. And a strike on the outside corner. Broad is deep in left. Kane, normal depth in center, shaded toward right center. And Hart is in his normal spot out and right. As it's 1-2 to Carlos. Two at 2.
Get a 4-run rally in these shadows, you put it down as an all-timer. Get the leadoff man on, and who knows?
Or maybe they can prolong the game long enough to get that shadow out to the mound a little bit.
I think it better. I don't think it's going to happen.
Behind home plate, Kataris off with the mask, and he runs out of room.
No good. The guy who took the brunt of it got the ball. He's still getting booed, but he's got the ball. There he is. That gentleman right there on the right.
He's feeling it on his
hand,
head, too.
Oh, that hurt. And then he scrambled after it and got it.
It hurt and you got it, they just said.
Good call.
2-2 the count to Ruiz. And he stays alive again.
I always feel sorry for the guy that takes the brunt of one of those things that somebody else gets the ball.
All 3. He's fought back and has worked the count back into his favor.
Yeah, this Oxford can get wild. He showed it last inning. He walked a couple. Thrown a lot of pitches.
Towering fly ball to left. Braun stepped back. Now he comes in, and there's one away. Blow to pitch hit. 3rd pitch hitter used by Charlie this afternoon. See Glode's numbers: 279, 6 homers, 21 RBIs. He rehabbed and hit a home run during his rehab assignment for Clearwater.
Saw him the other day. He said, I think he said that was the first hit he got in A-ball in 12 years. He played in the Florida State League.
Must be odd for these guys when they go back, and like Ryan Howard when he went back to Lakewood and he, drove in a run and became the all-time RBI leader in franchise history.
Right.
That one towards center hit pretty well. Kane closed well, and the Phillies are down to their final out.
Claude said he remembered playing games at old Jack Russell Stadium.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Cardinals have salvaged a game against the Reds.
But the Reds did what they had to do, and that's not get swept. They won 1 game there, and that's all they needed. To still keep that really comfortable lead they have.
Chris Carpenter had 11 strikeouts today in 7 1/3. It's the 15th time in his career that he's picked up 10 strikeouts or more. The Cardinals are now 7 out in the Central. Jimmy takes a fastball for a strike. Today, all the young fans received compliments of the folks at IBEW Local 93, the Jimmy Rollins T-shirt. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Over to the right side. To his left, Ricky Weeks. He's got it. And the side is retired, and the ball game is over. So the Brewers take the final game of this 3-game series, and they do so by a final score of 6-2. So the Phillies remain a game back in the National League East. Prince Fielder, an early 3-run home run against Kyle Kendrick. And basically that 3-run lead that the Brewers built in the first, well, they were able to keep it, let it stand as the game moved on. So the Phillies 78-59, a game back. Meanwhile, San Francisco 2.5 games off the pace in the wild card. 5.5 are the Cardinals, and 6 are the Colorado Rockies. And Randy Wolf, as we said, this is the Jimmy Rollins IBEW Local 98 T-shirt given to all young fans. Well, they watched Randy Wolf today, and he is our Chevrolet player of the game.
He did a good job. They gave him a 3-run lead. He gave 2 back, but then they got some more, and Randy Wolf hung in there. He threw a couple of really key double play balls, one to Ryan Howard, one to Chase Utley. Walked 2, struck out 5. Mixed up his pitches very well. Used his cutter effectively, his slider, slow curveball, and fastball, and got the job done. And he is an 11-game winner and our Chevrolet player of the game.
So Randy Wolf went 6 2/3. He gets the win. He's 11-10. The Brewers take game 3 of this series. The Phillies lose at 6-2. We'll be back after this.